Hi, Nat and Steph. It is so great to get to talk to you, although I wish it were under happier circumstances. How's it going today?
It's going great, just getting over the elimination once again. But we learned a lot and we're healthy and we're here, so can't complain.
I'm actually very sad, Jessica. I'm still a little bit bitter and a little bit emotional. It felt watching the episode last night felt like, watching your ex-boyfriend um on a date with another woman. That's what it felt like.
That's wow. So let's itemize the bitterness then. Like what was the most hurtful thing?
It just like it was really there's so many things that are out of your control. And so that was really hard. And just, me and my just watching me and my sister, we didn't advocate for the flights when we should have, right? We should have advocated to get the earlier flight. We should have stuck up for ourselves and had more audacity and more aggression. And so we just sat back and just took it. And like I knew in
Yeah.
my gut when we did that because you're also just so tired, so exhausted, emotionally drained, so you don't always think logically. Like what I would do today is not because I'm not stressed out, is not going to be the same as when you're racing for all these weeks and it's just high stress. So it just sucks looking back at the game, and I'm so grateful I played, and I would do it all over again with the same outcome because I raced with my sister. But it is really hard to see when, oh my gosh, I should have done this or I should have done that, we should have done that. And the thing is, a lot of times when we're making moves in this last leg, I knew we should have done masks. They didn't air that, but I was like, Steph, we need to do masks. Like, I'm an artist, I know how to sew. And I could teach Steph how to do it. She killed the dancing competition and she's not a dancer. So I knew we were going to get it because I was giving her tips and tricks of how to learn dancing. So I just felt like, darn, like there are so many things we could have done different to stay in the game.
So let's go back to the travel agency. What exactly happened there? It looked like you got in
Ah,
there at this exact same time as Adam and Joseph, and it
Yeah.
what exactly went down in the travel agency?
so what they didn't show is that we were actually in a taxi race with Adam and Joseph. And we were actually, so we left about 5 or 10 minutes before them, and then their taxi just started zooming and it turned into
Yeah.
this taxi race that they didn't air. And then it was just we were on pins and needles. I think it was like an hour away. So we were like going back and forth for an hour, like super nervous. And then we got there about the same time. And then this weird thing happened where the guy said, "Hey, the girls got here first," and then Adam or Joseph just handed his passports. And I just wish that we would have been like more demanding and more like this is ours, like here's our
Yeah.
passport, and kind of like less of like pushovers. And I think that's just something that like I look back and I was like, that's something that I need to work on
Mhm.
in my day to day as well. And like Natalie said, we didn't have that audacity, and I think if we would have given those passports earlier and just been more adamant about it, I think we it would have been a completely different outcome.
Yeah. In 2026, Jessica, I'm going to have the audacity of a man. I'm going to think like a man, talk like a man, take what I want like a man. I'm turning into a man this year, okay?
I love this for you. This is fantastic. So what is interesting to me is that you had spent a lot of the first part of your race aligned with a lot of male teams.
Yeah.
And that do you think that this came into play earlier as well?
Steph, do you want to answer that?
What do you mean that do you think that this came
Do you
into
think
play?
that do you think that their comparative larger amounts of audacity might have advantaged them earlier on? And do you think you would align with different teams
So
if you were given a
I
chance to do it again?
Jess, I loved our alliance. I'm a Big Brother player, challenge player. I love getting into alliances. I don't regret getting into the alliance, but I regret, offering more help, like offering to help with directions. We just offer too much help. But yes, our alliance was beneficial, right? Because Joseph did help us with the train situation. He's the one that resolved the train situation, and we were able to get to the Ziskov television tower quicker than all the teams. So there was so many benefits of this alliance that you know, people might not even notice. And also, you know, being aligned with them, they weren't going to U-turn us at a U-turn board if they got us there first. So it was very, very beneficial. But I think as women, me and my sister, you know, we're very giving. We're half Venezuelan. We're raised by a Venezuelan mother. In our culturally, ¿cómo se dice, Tata? Culturally, Hispanics and Venezuelans, especially the women, we are taught to set the table, to clean up the table, where the men get to play video games. They don't have to set up the table. They don't have to help cook. They get to leave the table. They don't have to clean up. The women have to. In our culture, we're taught to always be giving to men. And that's something that, you know, I don't want to be a part of anymore. And it's just instinctively in us because of the way we're raised. So I feel like because we're like that, we're just very giving, very nurturing. We have that Venezuelan heritage in us of the nurturing women. I learned from watching this that I don't want to be like that anymore, and the men have to give to me now, you know?
This is fantastic. I love this. I love this reversal here. But I would love to talk a little bit about the relationship. We had a lot of sibling bonds this
Yeah.
season, and I would love to know um, from both of you actually, like how being on the race evolved your relationship, and Natalie specifically, like why was Stephanie the person that you wanted to race with?
My sister, am I allowed to curse on here or no?
You are allowed to curse, yes.
My sister is the baddest bitch, Jessica. Like growing up with my sister, well, I always say she was the man of the house. Okay. My sister always did everything for me, took care of me. I would steal her outfits because she had the best fashion taste. My sister, I'm obsessed with her. She literally is just she basically raised me as well with my mom, right? So to me, I've always admired her. I am a little sister. I am just a girl. And my sister is just someone I've always looked up to, right? She was my moral compass. She was my guide. She was my physical protector, my emotional sounding board. She was just always there. And so racing with my sister was going to be the only option for me. And I am just so honored, so grateful to have raced with her. And I feel like people now also understand me a little bit more and understand where I come from. Like this is my sister. This is who created me. Even though she's the calm, the classy, you know, the logical one, I'm more of the firecracker. I'm more of like the energized one, the spunky one that has a little bit more spice to me. Playing with my sister was going to be the only option for me, and I am just so grateful. She is I'm so happy that everybody that watches Big Brother and The Amazing Race got to see my sister and her strengths. And I'm so happy that my sister got to see that she's like one of the baddest. She's keeping up with the guys, you know? She is truly an icon.
Thanks for that.
So Stephanie, what is the biggest way that Natalie surprised you out there? Because I know the big sister, little sister dynamic can be a specific way. Like, what was something that you learned about Natalie while you were out there?
That Natalie, I mean, outside of the race, Natalie is accomplished. And I always say this, Natalie has the spirit of a 7 foot tall basketball man inside of a 4'11" body. And I think she undermined herself a lot in this season. And once she got to the roadblocks, because she was very nervous to do roadblocks, and I had done, I think, the first 3. And at the hockey one, she got the hockey goal in 2 tries and all, and she was actually more powerful than she gave herself credit for. And I never doubted any of her capabilities in this. I said, Nat, just go for it. I know you can do it. You're athletic, like just lock in. And so I think it was surprising for me to see how nervous Natalie was in some areas, because she is so confident in her day-to-day life. And it just taught me to kind of like maneuver her nervousness a little bit more. But Nat's a powerhouse, and I was just shocked to see that she was as nervous as she was, given that she already had done so many competitive shows. But it was also great to know that I was there to support her and encourage her, and see how awesome she was in those
Yes.
competitions.
Can I call you Jess?
Of course. So everybody
This
calls me
was
that.
the first show that I've ever done. This is my 6th show that I enjoyed filming. And it was because my sister, she tapped into my nervousness because I always hide my nervousness. And then I don't really get to enjoy it, or I don't really get to compete and put and really showcase who I authentically am. But doing the race with my sister, she was able to calm me down. She was able to tap into, you know, my weaknesses, my insecurities, and bring out the best in me. So that was really nice to have my comfort blanket there. But also, you know, she was able to tap into my insecurities and calm me down. And for the first time in 9 years of me competing and doing TV shows, I was able to enjoy the show, enjoy the competitions, really gave it my all, and it was really nice.
I mean, I could tell that that you were both having a blast out there. Like even when you were upset with each other or with the race, it really came through that you were having fun out there.
Yeah.
And I actually I wanted to ask, um, I first heard of you, Natalie, when you were first cast on Big Brother, and the people I heard it from were Krista and Tiffany. Um,
Oh,
And they
eh,
had such a legendary season.
yes, they did. Were they available to give you any tips before you went out there?
so I was under the impression that I couldn't like tell anybody that I was on it. So I didn't tell them, which I regret because I know they would have given me the best advice. But fun fact, they're the ones that got me on Big Brother. After they did the Amazing Race, they got me on Big Brother. But I did actually reach out to Rachel Riley because she's done so many shows. I was like, if someone were to do the Amazing Race, like what advice would you give them? And she's like, who's going to be on the Amazing Race? I was like, I don't know. I'm just curious if I like, you know, if I ever would want to do it and would it be worth it? So, Rachel Riley actually gave me a lot of input, but I was able to watch Krista and Tiffany. And I also remember them telling me about their experience, but I do regret not reaching out to them because they would have given me such great pointers, especially Krista, because we're both the tiniest girls. When we were Jets cheerleaders in the kick line, we were the anchors, so she'd be on one side of the anchor and I'd be the other on the other side, so we were the people that led the kick lines. You couldn't miss your counts, you couldn't mess up, or you'd get in trouble, you'd mess up the entire line. So I wish that I got more advice from someone that's petite like me, so that I could, you know, I could have strategized a little bit more efficiently as well.
So I know Chris is one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Yeah. Love them.
Yeah, she's wonderful. I really that was a very fun season. They also had a very unique experience as women being out there. So I feel like they would have had some they would have had some experience there as well. Did Rachel tell you anything about it being different to race with her sister?
Um, I mean, I know she raced with her sister and her husband. And I don't know if she gave me any, if she told me if it was different racing between both of them, the husband and the
Yeah,
sister.
like being a team of women. I wonder how different that is.
No, she actually didn't give me advice on that, actually. Yeah, she didn't give me that I remember. But yeah,
We definitely knew that like watching other seasons that like us as women, like we wanted to bring this home. And I think the last time a woman team won was 10 years ago. And it was actually Natalie's favorite team that she looked up to going into this race. And
the ice cream scientists. I love
Yes, they were
my
fantastic. Yeah.
favorite team of all time on the Amazing Race.
so we knew that it was a little bit more difficult for women to take it home and win that $1 million. And so we put a lot of pressure on ourselves too going into the show and wanting to represent women and wanting to represent, the feminine range of people. Natalie's very petite and feminine. I'm taller and masculine. And we just wanted to like give that representation to women and give that example that you can be who you want to be and also be a very competitive person and make women proud. And I hope we made women proud in general. But yeah, that's what we're hoping for. But it wasn't our time this time around.
Yeah, we did make women proud. The amount of DMs I've been getting on Instagram, messages on TikTok, the women have been crying. Even men have been crying that we got eliminated. Like,
Well, I think you definitely like I can't speak for the entire gender, of course, but I really enjoyed watching both of you, and I
Thank
feel
you
like
so much.
you really did do women proud. And I especially loved the contrast between the two of you personality wise. Um, what's next for you both?
Nat.
well, I am like, okay, so I'm hoping that me and Steph get an opportunity to place something again. Whether it is the Amazing Race again or whether it is the challenge, because I was the first female crossover from another network onto the challenge. So I was the one that led that, led that charge. There's Survivor on the challenge. There's Amazing Race on the challenge now. My sister is not a reality TV person. She doesn't want to be on these shows, but she does have what it takes to win. So it would be a really beautiful experience, not just like I don't care about getting on another TV show. Like, I don't care about, oh my gosh, like, I just want the fame and fortune, even though I do want the fortune. I care about doing a competition, whether it's a challenge or whatever the universe and God wants for us. I would love to compete with my sister again because we didn't talk, Jessica, we didn't talk for 2 years and we were always so tight knit. And 2 months after we reconciled and started working on a relationship again is when we got the call from Jesse if we wanted to be on the Amazing Race. So the Amazing Race kind of just it kind of catapulted us working together and us, fixing our relationship. It sped up the process because we don't have cell phones on the Amazing Race. We don't have distractions. So we had that blessing to really fix our relationship a lot quicker than other people and like racing around the world doing what we love because it is one of our number one passions is travel and we both have that in common and we love competing. So we're competitors. We love to travel. So two of our favorite things we got to do together. So I would love to do any other competition show with my sister because with my sister, all my weaknesses are her strengths. So
And vice versa.
We could win. We could actually win a show. And we got this I'm just gonna say was the practice round. So I'm ready for something else.
Hey, Amazing Race. Amazing Race has had people come back 3 times. So if they ever want us to come back, we're gonna be ready. 100%. They have all of our paperwork, so just call us.
now we know like where as a team, right? Now like the dynamic, how much more you need to train, what didn't I do that I need to strategize this time? How do I need to train? What do I need to study? So, and us together, we know that we need to train a little bit more together physically, doing things together because I'm in New York, Steph's in Hawaii, so it's hard to meet up and be able to train.
Yeah.
We had to get creative using FaceTime.
That's fascinating. And of course, I would love to see you both out there again. I feel like we don't get enough teams of women that are that different and that complementary in terms of strength. So yeah, I endorse it. I would love it. And of course, the two of you are welcome to come by the podcast anytime. Don't be strangers. We'd love to talk again.
This was really fun, Jessica. We would love to be on again and just talk some tea and drink some tea at the same time.
Yes, Jessica.
Love it.
And we love your rainbow glasses.
Oh,
Puppy loves them.
Oh, I love the puppy. All right. Thanks to both of you.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.